And I can tell you that if you have a growth mindset, it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, how charismatic you are, how experienced you are, this is the number one determining factor for your success. I've been in this great industry for over 15 years, and for over a decade, I've been traveling around the world, 16 different countries, teaching over 1,000 different fitness professionals and fitness business owners. Now, within a few minutes, I can determine who is going to be a great success in this industry in only a couple of minutes and who is going to struggle. So what are the attributes, what are the characteristics that define those that are successful? Number one, they are eager and keen to learn. So when they see me on stage, see me at a course, they are hungry and open to learning. Number two, they ask questions. And number three, they know that they can learn something. Even if it's just one little takeaway, they are eager to have that little golden nugget. On the flip side, those that are not going to be successful usually have their arms crossed. They're usually very closed in terms of their body language. They don't ask questions. They sit to the side and they are afraid of making a mistake. And so therefore they say next to nothing. In Carol Dweck's book, Mindset, she actually categorizes, she defines that first group as having a growth mindset, where the other group has a fixed mindset. And I can tell you that if you have a growth mindset, it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, how charismatic you are, how experienced you are, this is the number one determining factor for your success. Now, we neither just solely have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. We have continuum, so we have elements of each. But the great thing about this is that you can develop a growth mindset. So right now, the fact that you're merely watching this video tells me that you're interested in learning. So there is some element of a growth mindset. But in this video, I'm going to be sharing 7 different ways of how you can develop this powerful growth mindset and really leverage it and bring it out to its full potential. How do you develop this growth mindset so you can elevate yourself both personally but also your business? Well, number one is you need to embrace challenges. You need to look for them rather than retreat or avoid them, which people with a fixed mindset do because they don't want to make mistakes. They don't want to be seen foolish. So rather, they just play it safe all the time. A person with a growth mindset actively looks for a challenge and a way to develop themselves. Now, a very quick story from me about this. About 10 years ago, I observed that really successful people were great public speakers. Now, the thing is, I hated public speaking. I remember delivering a presentation at university and I was holding a sheet of paper and it was rattling that much. You could see my nerves. It was uncontrollable, in fact. It was so embarrassing. So I was starting off from a very, very low base. And I welcomed the opportunity to speak. And before every presentation, I had sweaty palms, I was nervous, I had knots in my stomach. But I kept looking for opportunities where I could challenge myself. I joined a local networking group. I joined a Toastmasters group. I hired presenting coaches. I kept nominating myself to speak at conferences and present at any and every opportunity. I embraced that challenge, and I have to say it was one of the greatest things I've done for me personally, most importantly, and then for my business. So I encourage you to embrace challenges, look for those situations that do cause those knots, because that just tells you that you're going to have to muster that courage. And when you do so, the fruits are ultimately worth it. The second thing you need to do if you want to develop this growth mindset is you need to learn from your mistakes. Now, I'm going to tell you, I made a huge mistake in business about 8 years ago. We had this major corporate deal. It was a 7-figure education deal. And it was really exciting because it meant that our business was going to go to a whole nother level. And it started off absolutely beautifully. Then after a few months, this education provider stopped paying our bills and our invoices. Yet we continued to develop and deliver a product for them. After about 3 more months, that business went into liquidation. They owed us an enormous amount of money, and it almost crippled the business itself. We were very, very fortunate to survive. Now, I could have been absolutely resentful of that, but instead I learned from that mistake. The way that I negotiated deals was better. The way that we had our accounts management was far better. And as a result, we became a leaner, more efficient organization. We learned from the mistakes. So every mistake you make is a learning opportunity, but you need to see it that way. And I encourage you to make mistakes because it means that you are challenging yourself. So right now, if you're not making mistakes, you're not putting yourself in positions where you're being challenged. So go and seek them out actively and proactively so you can become a better version and you can have more of a growth mindset. The third way to develop this growth mindset is to focus on the process, not merely the outcome. So rather than say, hey, look, I want to sign 20 new clients and assess yourself on whether you're actually signing those clients or not, reverse engineer it and go, well, what action steps need to be taken so I can be successful in accomplishing that goal? It might be setting up 2 concurrent Facebook ad campaigns. It might be having a seminar or a workshop in your gym. It might be doing a reactivation campaign. It might be doing a special referral reward. And so when you focus on these processes, you're ultimately going to get the outcome that you want, but you're also going to see progress along the way. The fourth thing that you must do if you want to adopt this growth mindset is you must become an avid learner. You need to fall in love with learning. You need to be voracious in seeking out opportunities. Now, my big encouragement here is to find ways of learning that light you up. Maybe you don't want to read lots of books. That's okay. Maybe you don't want to attend lots of conferences. That's okay. Find a way that you learn best and get most excited by. What brings you enormous and immense amounts of joy. So for me, I love going to conferences. I just love immersing myself, getting away from my day-to-day and just diving in and learning like that. I traveled around the world going to different conferences. Other people may find YouTube videos a better source of learning, podcasts, audible books, maybe a physical book, whatever it is. Use that vehicle and just fall in love with it. Just learn for the sake of learning because we have this incredible brain. We are so malleable and we can be an absolute sponge for this information, but we need to water it with the opportunities. The fifth way to develop this growth mindset is to practice self-reflection. Now, one of the things that I could really advise on this is to habitualize introspection. How do I do so personally? Through journaling. Every single morning I journal. At the end of every single week, I spend a considerable more time journaling. Now, one of the best ways that I developed this introspection, this self-reflection, was through a 5-minute journal. 3 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening. And through that, I became a lot more self-aware. I understood why I was doing certain things, my biases, my behaviors, my actions. They became more conscious. I also started to recognize my progress and the many lessons that I was learning each and every day. So I encourage you, habitualize self-reflection and introspection, and you'll understand a lot more about yourself. The sixth way to really develop this growth mindset is through your environmental influence. You need to be around other people that also share this incredible growth mindset. It's infectious, that love for learning, that love for just pushing themselves, that real self-awareness. Similarly, people with a fixed mindset can also be like cancers. They really can. Because if they're constantly telling you that through no lack of effort are you going to get results, then you start to believe that. It becomes self-actualizing. So one of the things you need to do with your environmental influence is you consciously need to create an environment or join an environment where these people spend time. And that's why I love running live events. I run live events for people that have growth mindset, and that becomes contagious. So seek out similar situations. And the last way to develop this growth mindset is, I believe, the most important, and that is practicing perseverance. Business is tough. Life is tough. It is littered with challenges, with obstacles. There's going to be many, many times just within a given day that you're going to feel overwhelmed and anxious. You're going to question yourself. And that's where you will revert or regress to that fixed mindset thinking. My encouragement to you is to entrust in this growth mindset, to continue to push yourself, to continue to become a better version of yourself. And the rewards are just going to be that plentiful. In Carol Dweck's book, Mindset, she just talks about constant examples, intellects, entrepreneurs, athletes that have all adopted this growth mindset and achieved the greatest of all heights. And that is exactly what is possible for you. So adopt these 7 ways of developing your growth mindset, and I ensure that you will reach a level of unbridled success, both personally and professionally, and I want nothing more for you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.